It is No Gifts Please, the parenting podcast by the pair with no real gifts, but a whole lot of gumption. Hey everyone, I'm Steve Novio.
And I'm Jenny Anchondo.
You plugging yourself in over there?
I got unplugged somehow, and I'm not sure
where that goes back in.
But I guess I'm sitting next to you, so...
You are. I'm right here.
I don't know. Why does it feel better? I want to hear you through the headphones.
Down there?
Okay, stand by. Entertain them.
Do, 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 do. Got it? There we go.
Okay, we are back in action.
Okay, here we go. Nice to see you. Hey,
you too.
So for folks who didn't hear our episode last week, so we were off for spring break for a week, and now now
I'm actually on spring break, but since our spring break's weird compared to everybody else's,
exactly,
here we are.
We had talked with Dr. Jameson on the show, who is a really great, deals with a lot of kid issues, kid psychologists and adults as well. And it's funny, one of the things I was thinking about is, because we were talking about how different parenting is through the different generations, whatever. You know, we talk a lot about parent advice on this show, and we don't really give it. We
try not to.
Well, we try not to.
Certainly,
right?
we don't have a proven record yet.
But we certainly do dissect it when others give it. And I think that sometimes what really seems very overwhelming is the amount of, because of social media, the amount of advice that's out there, the constant, like, do it this way, try this, what about this, da, da, da. And some of it is practical, but some of it, every time I see some of it and I think to myself, well, that's a good idea, I subconsciously think, which must mean that my idea is not as good.
Yes.
It's like constantly being told you're doing it wrong. Do you get that at all?
And here's what I worry about. Absolutely. I worry that I'm going to seem like an inconsistent parent then, because I'm hearing this new advice and I'm thinking, well, let me try that.
Let me try that.
And then I feel like, well, now I'm not going to be a stable base for my children, because as I evolve as a parent and learn new techniques or learn new ways of dealing with things, it may seem like the target's changing for them.
Right.
And I don't want that either.
Right.
I do think like there should just be like a flat out just basic parenting class just when you're pregnant. And I really think that. But then maybe we should just kind of like let it go and kind of flow.
Well, I don't know. How do you cover all of it, right? I mean, there can't.
And there's so many different theories. Like, how do you pick
so many
one?
Different stages and whatever else. Hey, Spider, go ahead and start the clock for us as well.
Otherwise, we'll sit here and talk about our own parenting anxiety and like the angst of...
Be an hour in, people are like, wait,
Lord.
When do they double their time?
Well, I think one of my favorite things is in our show is the through thread that No Gifts Please has led to with regard to birthday parties and gifting stories. And you found one that absolutely takes the cake.
Oh, the what? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when it comes to I won't call it anything. I will just read it and let the listener decide what they think. So this is a text from the birthday party family to the guest. Hi, we are asking that when picking out a present for blank, please choose something that follows these guidelines. No color, no plastic toys, no bright colored toys, and nothing that produces waste. It continues. Hang tight. Also, please make a handmade card, as buying one from a store produces unwanted waste. Thank you. See you Sunday.
Sincerely, Brighton's mom.
Oh
Jenny
my gosh,
Anchondo.
I would listen.
Did you write that?
Absolutely not. Now listen, I don't necessarily disagree with this person, but this is the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen. If you give my child red 40, if you give them plastic, if you give them like whatever, I will receive it with gratitude and joy and love and all the things, because there is room in the world for everything. This is so obnoxious. The person replied and said, "Oh, okay, much is appreciated. We will do our best to keep those guidelines in mind. Thank you." What a ridiculous request. Why wouldn't they just say no gifts, please?
Right. No gifts,
it's simple.
Please. Not like, hey, here's what I need you to do. Now, I will say, if you are like, I know that you admire everything that woman said, or you value the things that she said.
We have similar values, right. Different
You did a different delivery for sure. So when I'm buying a gift for your daughters, am I thinking to myself, was this ethically sourced?
No, I hope not. You shouldn't. I don't want you to do that.
I also
give
gift cards.
Stress.
So.
You also have given Brighton two of the things that she's used the most in her life. One of them being the rolling sort of suitcase thing, and then the other thing being that glow in the dark dress.
Oh, does she like the dress?
Loves. Yes, it's a little short, but we still rock it.
Well, I hope that the children in the sweatshop that made that will hear this and be grateful that their little fingers produced something that your daughter loves. But here's the thing: for someone to have such strong feelings about that tells me that if you are friendly with this mother, you know this about them, right? I mean, like I know it about you, but yours is not to the point where you're going to send me a note to say, know this, know that. Da, da, da. I mean, like with some of our like dad friends and stuff, like when like we were like Jacob recently had a birthday and I didn't put no gifts on it. Honestly, I forgot to, and he got some stuff. And some of it is like, it was like whistles and like just like the
stuff
word
that will annoy you.
And I was like, and I'm close enough with those parents to like send them a text and say, yeah, your kid's getting a drum set. Like,
right. Like when you gave me that chicken and that was like the only thing Brighton used for like 5 years.
Yes, it's people
so bizarre.
People are crazy.
I think that people, and like, again, like you said, I am this woman on the inside, but I know enough. I have enough like self-awareness to know that this is so ridiculous. I even find it a little annoying when people put like organic stuff on their baby registry and stuff. It's like, just buy that for yourself.
Yes, like I also find that annoying.
A onesie, like just don't put onesies on there. Put on things that normal people buy and normal people appreciate. It is super obnoxious. And I love a wooden toy. I will say the kids don't.
Right.
I buy them all the time. Gemma does not like them. She prefers a little plastic squeaker thing or a plastic whistle. But like, buy that stuff yourself. I think it's really weird to do like a $50 organic onesie on a registry. Just don't. I mean, I love it.
I'm thinking back to like the minimalist Scandinavian baby rocker that I bought you when that was on your registry when Brighton was born.
Yes. And I love that whole aesthetic.
It was very nice.
Oh, I love it. But the kids want the plastic pink stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I have a question for you about birthdays.
Okay.
This is my mom and I were talking about this and I was like, you know what? I don't know if anybody from that party noticed that thing. So this is Brighton's birthday party. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Last year was the animal guy in the yard.
Yes. Animal guy. Yep. A Wildlife on the Move. Yes. Eric Brittingham. Love him. And
I need to have him on the 10.
You really need to.
Yeah.
He just went to Brighton school and like the kids were all ears. I've never seen somebody capture the audience for as long as he did. And plus he'll bring us,
what's the news hook? Is there
he does presentations for schools. He's also doing a fundraiser. He's doing he does like
there a fundraiser
conservation fundraisers to like save snakes. I don't know the
Send
details.
me his information. I just feel weird. Like we had a person the other day, perfectly lovely, but like it was done. And I was like, okay, that was a 4-minute commercial for your cookie factory.
No, he does conservation fundraisers and stuff. So do him now. For this birthday party, in the favors, there were like little favor bags. I don't know why I expect you to remember this, but my mom and I were like, did nobody get them? Brighton made a book. It was like a homemade, she had made one copy of this book and it was like a whole story and it was like this little book about kindness and she illustrated it and stuff and she wanted to get it published. And we realized like publishing it, I didn't know that we had the means. I thought we might need to perfect it a little bit before actually publishing, but we came up with the idea. We said, why don't we do a copy for all of your friends at the birthday party? So we, went to like Kinko's and made color copies of this book and gave one to every child. And Brighton never noticed, but my mom and I just thought of it like a few months ago.
Not one person mentioned it?
Not one person mentioned it.
I honestly don't remember receiving it. And I think that I would have remembered. Are you sure you put them in the bags?
I'm certain they were in the bags.
How big was it?
It was like the normal 8.5 by 11 paper, folded, and then it was bound just by staples. It wasn't like bound. But we were like, how is it that nobody said anything?
I have no recollection of that happening. You're sure you included it?
I'm having a little. I was like a few.
What
months
else was in the bag?
I don't remember. I think I would have
because I know if there was a gift bag, the boys absolutely walked away with one.
There was definitely something else. I think, oh gosh, now I'm going to have to ask my mom. But I mean, it was such a production and it was like Gemma was just a few months old. I had just gone back to work. There was a lot of chaos, but there was a lot of time spent making this book so that she could publish it and just for her friends.
No recollection.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to ask. Actually, you know who would remember is Jacob.
Will you ask Jacob? Will you ask
your 8-year-old?
And will you ask Doug?
Okay, speaking of 8-year-olds, and your daughter is about to be 8.
Yes.
we were driving around the other day because we were a couple weeks ago. We were in Galveston for spring break. We went on a cruise out of there, and we of course drove down.
Yes.
And I was noticing that he was kind of fidgeting with he was like lounging, like he's in a booster, but he was like lounging, like
living the good life back there.
Living the good life. And then I noticed he was doing it, and I thought to myself, I wonder when they. Now he's been 8 for a minute now.
Oh, when he ages out of the car seat?
I was like, when does he age?
You mean he hasn't been harassing you to be out of it?
Not at all.
That is a huge difference in our households.
I was like, when is that? And I looked it up. You know when it is?
8?
It's 8. Like we're like 2 months overdue.
Wait.
So I like
it's
literally
not based on weight and
so
height?
So it's 8 or this particular height. He's both of these things.
No.
Yep.
No.
So I was like, hey, buddy, I think you're old enough to not sit in that car seat anymore. And he was like, oh, okay. And that was
the conversation in our household could not be more different.
Is she asking?
Oh, she's been asking for at least 3.5 years. I mean, a very, very long time. I will say a lot of her friends transitioned into she's been in a booster. It's a booster, but it looks like a car seat because it's kind of
back?
luxe.
Wait, is there a back to it?
There is a back, but it's still a booster.
No.
Yes,
get rid of the back.
Well, okay. Well,
no, you got to get rid of the back.
But it's a booster. It's a certified bona fide booster. Like it cannot work as a car seat.
No, I bet you it's convertible. I bet you the bottom comes off. If not, you can have Jacob's for the next 6 weeks until she turns
right?
8.
We've got like a few months here. So, and I also thought it was like a weight thing. So, but I think the reason she's been asking is because a lot of her friends are a little bit older and they've been out of it. Right. Well, and I think some of them got to the height maybe before because I feel like I'm thinking of these parents and I'm like, they would have never taken it away early.
Right.
Like these are very law abiding parents. So I'm thinking maybe their daughters hit the height thing and then they were out. And then I've also noticed there was this round of when parents would be like, hey, we're picking up so-and-so, we have an extra booster, or they would ask, and then parents just stopped asking recently. And so I'm like, okay, are we done?
Because everyone's 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're done.
Oh, well, that was a long 8 years. I mean, don't you guys find it to be so exhausting, the whole car seat situation, like traveling with it and when you fly someplace, having one there or packing it in the plane?
You know what? Fortunately, I will say, because generally the only place we're flying to is New York to see my parents, and they bought car seats for their cars.
Ours did too. So, I complained about something that really is not a big thing.
And
so I'm about to get my car back, kind of.
At least one seat.
That's great.
I mean, Gemma, you've got 8 years, so we're 7.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just reusing the same car seats, which I know like they get like
they don't really expire. I mean, they do, but they don't.
The recalls. Is that just to make me buy a new car seat?
I think so.
I don't want anybody to message
speaking
me
of buying
that.
things, I also have a birthday scenario that you have not heard. I gave the audio to Spider. Let's take a listen.
So my 6-year-old just come home from school with an invitation for one of the kids in school's birthday for Saturday. Not a problem. And then I start to read the invitation, and it says that he has a little brother, age 3, and he likes Spider-Man, this, that, and the other. Please send him a gift also, because we don't want him to be left out. What?
No.
I was floored.
No. No. This is another family that is a prime candidate for the line, which we have given to you so easily and so seamlessly, which is no gifts, please.
Could you imagine the audacity?
No. Oh, it's so cringy. I do think it was super sweet that like when Gemma was born, some people got Brighton a little something.
I thought that was so classy. At the baby shower for Gemma, one of your girlfriends brought Brighton a gift. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
Thinking about that in my gift giving, but you would never request it. Oh, it's so weird.
So weird.
Right?
Yep.
I just don't understand. It kind of goes back to like we were talking to Dr. Kelly about how we make kids feel so important and we never have them suffer for anything.
Nothing.
And so that's exactly what that's doing. It's like, because it's not even suffering. It's just, it's not your birthday. Like your birthday will come and you can get gifts from people that time.
Although I will have to say, and you didn't have this experience because you had one child for so long.
Yeah.
Like when it's one of the boys' birthdays, we don't buy gifts, but inadvertent at some point they'll be like, can I help him open up the gifts, or can I?
Yeah.
Which we do. And I'll remind the boys, like I'll remind Jacob during Hudson's birthday and Hudson during Jacob's birthday, that your then brother will on your birthday ask to play with what you just got, or want to unwrap, or want to blow out the candles with you, or whatever the case may be. But the idea that I would ask other parents to come to my kid's birthday party with a gift for the child whose birthday it's not, and think that by suggesting what they enjoy that I'm making this task easier somehow for you, is so disgusting.
It really is. Also, it's like Amazon Prime is not fast enough for that. They got it that week and the party was Saturday. That was the other thing. I was like, whoa. We can barely buy a gift for the birthday boy if you work. Because when would you go to get something?
Yeah.
Second of all, like, definitely not a second gift. That is loco. I would love to see the aftermath. I will also say that I would probably have bought something for the other child just to like.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
Just because then it's like, it's weird if you know, they know you got it and then you didn't. I don't know. I probably would, but then I probably would like kind of phase out of that friendship. It would become a 50% friend if they had originally been a 100% friend.
You know, we have friends of ours who just announced that they're about to have their third child, and it's a boy. They have two girls. It's a boy. And I was going to send, there's a book that I like about how to be a real man, which is a children's book. It's super cute. So I was going to buy it for them, for their son that's yet to be born. And I will definitely send a gift to his daughters. Their girls are like 2 and 1. Or
like a little book or something.
A book is an equal, an equal suggestion.
How to be a woman.
Right, how to be a lady.
How to be a lady book. Do the C is for Chanel ABC book.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that cute?
Yes. Yeah. But I got them. I think I got them one of the older daughter. I think I got her a book about like Goodnight Broadway or something like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, Goodnight Marquee. Goodnight.
Yes.
Stage lights. Goodnight.
Was it written by you as you sat in the audience watching your mom?
It should have been. I could have that passive income. But like for that, I understand. But like this, we just talked again. If you're listening and wondering the references about, we just had a guest on, and you'll hear her again. Come on. And we were talking about this idea, and I honestly forget which episode it was, the first or the second one that we taped with her. I think it was the second one. So you'll get it next week. Of the importance that people place on their children, which you think to yourself, well, duh, of course we do. But it makes for some truly self-centered, mean kids sometimes.
And I think that's so scary. I think the scariest thing is that to find out that your child is the mean child.
It was interesting,
right?
her answer when you asked that, when you said what,
she was like, they don't ask.
Right. Like what if you find out yours is the mean girl? But what I did find interesting, and I'm curious if you did as well, when she talked about the evolution of psychology through parenting and how this all makes sense, right? The latchkey kids gave way to the helicopter parents, and the helicopter parents gave way to, then
the failure to launch, the first generation of failure to launch was were products of the OG helicopter parents that were being the real, like the enable tables and the showing up. So hopefully everyone thinks they're hitting the happy medium. None of us do. We all screw up, I'm sure, a lot, but I hope we're finding the happy medium. I've been trying to think about, like, how do I use that technique about not making the kids feel too important, but then also being there for the important stuff. Because part of me was like, she said, girls always want to talk about their day right at pickup. And I'm not always the person to pick Brighton up from school. It's about half or a third of the time. So then I'm thinking, oh, great. Well, I need to completely change my schedule so that I can be there at pickup every day in the event that she wants to talk to me about something, because I don't want to miss that opportunity. These are critical moments. But then I go back to, you also don't want to make your kids feel like they're so important. And look, mom just quit her job so that she can come pick me up from school in the event that I want to say something to her. But I see where I'm like cycling. And
but I think that we future trip too much, though. Sometimes, like I find that, be it even in the most innocent situation, and I'm trying to think of one, we're always concerned about consequences, the wrong word, but like the consequence of this. Oh, here's a perfect one. The other night we went to Brahms with the kids for ice cream, right? And
that's fun.
Doug, it was a nice
Cute,
night.
yeah.
So it's right by the house. And Doug said, it's so funny that our kids are going to grow up with memories of like, this is where we would go for ice cream, right? I don't think that in all of the times I went to ice cream with my parents, and we used to go to this place called Zips that used to let you put on your own hot fudge.
Was it Zips like the chain?
I don't think it was a chain.
We had a Zips.
Oh, did you
that
really?
had ice cream, but it also had burgers?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was ice cream. And then there was a fire, and then it was up, whatever.
Okay.
But in all of those times, I don't know that my parents ever was like, you know what? They're going to remember that we used to go to Zips, and they're going to remember that we went to Baskin Robbins, and I think about that stuff all the time. Like it robs you of the moment. It robs you of the authenticity sometimes, of things. And I think to your point and to her point, frankly, it's like everything we were just on spring break, and you see these, of course I want you to have a good time, right? Yeah. And of course we went swimming with a dolphin, right? But
my envy overfloweth.
But like, does it all have to be like
so idyllic?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, does it all, like there was a thing on the ship where you could, like, there was a 3-story racetrack, like we were in race cars, like go-karts, right? Doug and Jacob were in one and Hudson and I were in the other, and they were in front of us. So they started ahead physically of where we were. Right. And we were like on their tail the entire time. And I was trying to pass them. And of course, Doug was not letting me pass and blah, 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 whatever. And then and they're ranking you the entire time. Like there's like, it's all like there's sensors and meters and like like how many laps and how fast, whatever. And at the end, it ranked Hudson and I faster than Doug and Jacob, which I believe technically was true because we caught up with them, even though they started ahead of us, physically ahead of us. So it stands to reason. And it's like 200ths of a second. I mean, it wasn't at a significant amount of time, but it was
still won.
Well, that kind of calculates. We still won. And Jacob, of course, who was like, no, like we were physically first. Like we were this is broken, turn the ship around. Like, and I was like, okay, in this moment, like, what do you do? Do you go with the, hey kid, sometimes you lose, sucker? Or do you like, oh, you know what? It must be broken. Like, let's not ruin the entire
so what did you do?
Week. I leaned into the, you lost. And then I reversed course. Saw the consequence of that. Because, of course, Hudson doesn't give a crap if he won or not, but Jacob was
just
like,
looking cute.
Well, right. Jacob is like, what are the logistics here of this? What are the physics of the idea that you somehow have surpassed us in speed when we physically cross the finish line first? Like that's how you win. You come in first. We came in first. Like not accounting for the idea that I started 10 feet behind you when this race started. Anyway, all of that to say, I think that we talked about in this session with her, which was excellent, and you should absolutely listen to it, the idea of kids who play chess instead of checkers, right? Who are always thinking 2 steps ahead, who are trying to manage outcomes. And I find that as a parent, sometimes I'm doing the same thing.
Oh, totally.
So what do you think so we talked about like being a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
What do you think your fatal flaw is as a parent?
So many. I mean, the most. Like all. I'm too involved, too uninvolved.
Right.
Too smother
I'm enough.
mother.
I'm not enough.
Yeah.
I'm too much.
My own flaw will probably be my own angst and not being consistent, because I wonder if the first thing that I tried didn't stick it out for long enough.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Am I consistent?
Am I consistent, or seem like I'm wavering, like I'm not a strong, solid base because I am wondering and evolving as a person, as I'm evolving and growing as a person and as a parent and as a wife and a human. And so then inevitably, if you are evolving, things are going to change, which then could seem inconsistent for your children.
And give mixed messages. Do you think that your husband loses sleep over these same thoughts?
Not an ounce, not ever, not once, not one. He thinks he's like father of the year, and he is. But like,
and
he doesn't
that
worry
drive
about
you insane?
Oh, yes.
You're like, I am managing like what shade, like what Pantone these invitations are for this party. and you are serving pizza out of a box to our friends who come to the house, and like your father of the year.
Yeah. Well, I will say, and I don't stress. Luckily, that is one thing I don't stress over, like parties and opulence and like the to do. We have a great life. Like nobody's going to be unimpressed by it. We got a great. We got it going on. We got a good thing going. But I also don't like overdo it. I'm not really trying to impress that much, except for those little books that Brighton made that nobody saw.
That nobody.
But I think
self-publishing literature.
Yes, does Doug lose sleep over these things?
No.
How do they do it?
I don't know.
And then it makes
they should have
lose more sleep because they're not. Because I'm like, what blind spots do they have that I need to uncover?
Right. How do I? Because now I'm working for two.
Exactly.
You know what they need is a show that comes on right after our show, like a rebuttal show.
The other side.
They should start their own show.
They would just be like, we're so right and we're so great and like our kids are great and goodbye.
Yeah. Their show could be called, actually, you know what? Gifts. Yes.
Yeah. It's actually gifts.
All right. Hey, listen, we've got to go because we're out of time, and probably so are you. So we want to thank you for listening. We want to remind you to please click like and subscribe. Yes. It helps us to fund what we're doing here, and join us for a new episode every Tuesday morning at 7:00. Our season is almost coming to an end, but we're around until the summer. We've got plenty of wear left in us. So go ahead and continue to listen. And if you do nothing else today, go find yourself a friend you don't need to clean the house for.